on this week's Pool Spa Life Australia. Find out how you can run your pool and spa for free and use your pool as a solar battery, all thanks to the power of the sun. As the cost of living hits hard, we look at DIY glass fencing you can install yourself. The robot pool cleaner, it has changed pool ownership for good, but exactly what do you look out for when you're choosing for your pool? And we're in Melbourne to visit a pool builder that has won awards, but keeps it all in the family. All that and more on today's Pool Spa Life Australia. Welcome to Pool Spa Life Australia. Now, if you have decided that this is your year, this is the year that you're going to take the plunge and get a pool or spa at your place, you've probably found the whole process quite daunting, especially when you start getting quotes. I mean, it is a big minefield of an area. Well, this whole series has been really designed to help connect you with the brands, the innovations, and the trends, so it will give you the confidence in really taking the plunge. First of all, on today's episode, we're heading to Melbourne to meet a bloke who set up a company that has been designed around helping you to run your pool or spa, including your heaters and all your filters, for free, thanks to the power of the sun. It can be a little bit daunting when you think about the running costs of your day-to-day operation of your pool and your spa, especially if you're running older equipment like old pumps, old heaters and old filters. It can really be incredibly inefficient. It is possible, however, to completely rethink the way that we get power to our pools and spas. And if you choose the right people and the right technology, you can dramatically reduce those running costs. And in some cases, you can run the entire thing for free. Here he is. Hey mate.
Hey mate.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Subtly placed here, a couple of things. It looks like a solar panel to me.
Yep.
Well, you've set up a whole industry and a whole business on teaching people and reframing their mind on how to generate electricity to run their pool, because it used to be a really expensive operation, didn't it?
It did, mate. Yeah, I guess for so long now, everyone's kind of thought that getting a pool and a spa is just going to cost you a fortune to run. So
well, it did. I mean, in summer, it's between $15 and $20 a day.
Yep.
It's 140 a week, whatever that is times 4 for a month. It adds up, and it's only getting more, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, electricity prices are only going up from here, and that's, I guess, where we came into the market and thought, well, let's kind of design systems and create systems that can offset the running costs of the pool by up to 85%. Sometimes 100% if we've got enough storage.
That's massive.
But yeah, and not only that, if we've got an overproduction and the pool's not utilising all the production, then we send it off to the house and they get a double-edged sword.
So you've kind of engineered individual solar systems. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's all individual, depending where your roof's pointing. So
correct.
The usual setup operation.
Of course.
But then you've said, okay, so let's maximise and use technology to say, well, if you're generating a little bit too much power, rather than send it back into the grid, you do a battery, or you said you can send it into the water.
Yeah, so thermal, we call the pool sometimes a thermal battery, right? But it is just using a term. But what it is if we can set the solar system up with certain heat pumps for the pool, then we have the ability to plus mode it. So then if there is an overproduction of solar energy on the roof, instead of sending that back to the grid and the house can't consume it.
For your 4 cents.
3 cents.
3 cents, whatever. Yeah.
So, and it'll only continue to get less again.
Yeah.
But instead of sending it back to the grid and getting next to nothing, then we send it to the heat pump. It overheats the pool. So then actually when the sun does go down, it doesn't have to jump on and pull energy from the grid or your battery.
Let's start from the beginning for people that don't actually know how a solar panel works. Obviously this is a solar panel.
It is.
And it's massive. I mean, if I stuck my finger in the cable now, would I get a shock, or what's...
Well, you might. Look, then it's not completely exposed behind there, but if we set it up right, yeah, you get a little zap. But put really, really simply, energy, like a radiance from the sun, it beams down on these solar panels. Then we've got it all wired up, and then that'll head back to the inverter. So that creates DC energy, which we can't utilise in the house.
Yeah.
That goes back to the inverter. The inverter then changes that from DC to AC.
Which is what all our house appliances use and everything.
Makes it usable for us.
Stabilises it.
That's it.
Creates a beautiful signal.
Yeah, makes it usable for us in the house and the pool. And then from there, we consume it. Now, if for instance, we want to store batteries, then instead of sending like an overproduction back to the grid, we would charge the battery first.
Okay. Be honest with batteries. I know this is your jam, but are we there yet with technology? Is it worth getting them? Are they too expensive? Do they not store enough? Because there's a lot of misconception, isn't there?
There is. Look, I guess from our perspective, we've got a really simple 3-step process. Now, number one is getting solar energy on your roof. That's the first thing that I'm saying to people, this is what we've got to do.
Yeah.
Then the next step is then installing heat pumps, so heat pump hot water systems, things like that. And then if we get to the third step, which is an electric battery, and we want to invest the money in it, then we will get some real benefit out of it. Now, are they still really highly priced? Yes, to a certain perspective.
But they're coming down, aren't they?
They are. Well, yeah, they're becoming more affordable purely because of the cost of electricity and running electric homes.
Yeah.
So we're turning more into an electric community, so we're consuming more electricity, and when that starts to occur, then the costs keep going up, so the battery's the way to go.
We found you at on the internet, actually, and on Instagram and everything, and we thought we'd hit you up and have a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
Streamlineenergy.com.au is where you'll find these guys. Hit them up. You get quotes and prices and talk about systems and things. It's all available online.
Sure.
Mate, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. Now, did you bring your bikini?
Of course I did.
Okay. Is the pool warm?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. The cost of living has hit us all pretty hard over this last year or so. And despite what they tell us, I don't reckon it's going to get that much better anytime soon. But of course, there are a couple of things you can do around your pool or spa to give it a bit of a spruce up that won't break the bank. And if you're pretty handy, you can have a go yourself. Pool barriers and gates around your pool or spa, as well as fencing in the surrounding garden area, can often be a bit of a source of contention. Whilst Australian standards provide guidelines to ensure compliance, each state and territory may operate under different versions, along with very specific planning requirements. Now, if you do a bit of thorough research and check all of those necessary regulations, there are certainly parts of the project you might be able to handle yourself and save a bit of coin. This is amazing. So this whole glass fence system is a DIY kit from Protector Al, and essentially it comes as a system that you just connect together, so you can do any length that you like. It comes with all the latches, all the hinges, and all the spigots. And Protector Al have designed this system so you can essentially do it yourself if you and a mate are pretty handy on the tools. It's quite easy to get up and cracking. And the best thing of all, it's just available from Bunnings. I think if you're looking to update an older existing pool fence with some of this stunning glass, it would dramatically improve the entire area, giving it a fresh lease on life. And glass is certainly one of the best options to help visually increase the size of any outdoor space. Protector Al have really thought this through to make the whole system really easy to install. They've also got this handrail option as well, which is super handy. It will sit across the entire run of the top of your glass, and it will not only add a bit of stability, but it will also give you a lovely framed look if that's what you're after as well. And super easy to install. Comes in a heap of different colors and styles. There's also a little clamp here that will fit in a similar manner, and you can use this on the corners and also on the straight edges of your glass panels.
You set me on fire, striking a match on my lips, hot like June, cutting the wire, shutting the lights off in this.
I feel like I should be reading the news or something in this setup. These guys also do a really great range of different sizes, styles and colors for all those fixtures and fittings, or they call it the hardware. That's things like the spigots and the latches and the hinges. So you can really sit back and think about the design aesthetic that you want to create in your own backyard. I mean, that's the fun part, right? You may also want to think about mixing glass fencing with aluminium fencing as well, to not only tick the aesthetic boxes, but to tick that functionality box too. Protector Al also do a really awesome range of aluminium pool fencing as well. Again, super easy to do a DIY install, and the kit comes with everything you need. And best of all, again, this is all available at Bunnings. Now, I've seen people use this powder-coated Al fences for a whole different range of applications, really, ranging from creating dog runs on big properties through to creating safe areas for the kids to play outside in the sunshine, and of course, to keep your pool and spa area safe. They are super cool, and they tick a lot of Australian standards too. Remember, the regulations around pool barrier compliance vary from state to state, and however you end up finishing off your project, you're going to have to get it certified by the relevant authority or a certifier. But if you're handy with a mate, this is a job that you can get done super quick. So you can tick it off your list, you can get it done, and you can relax for the rest of summer knowing that that job is done. It is such a great system. You can see their entire range online if you head over to protectoraluminium.com.au. You see all the colours and things there. Or if you're like me and like to go and have a look in person and hold these very things in your hands, you can find them all at your local Bunnings. Cleaning your swimming pool is one of the biggest jobs that you're gonna have to do as a pool owner. And depending on the season, well, you're gonna get leaves falling in there. You're gonna get the occasional dead frog. You're gonna get a couple of bugs in there as well. And then in summer, you're gonna get dust that just settles from the atmosphere into your perfectly clean pool. It is super annoying. Now, if you've got a really fancy pool, you might have an in-ground pool cleaner, which uses a series of jets to kind of usher the debris into a drain that gets sucked into your filters. Or you might just still be using the humble net and some sort of device to keep your pool clean. It is a thing. Well, enter the humble robot pool cleaner. We've all seen them. Yes, they work. Yes, they are amazing, and they can dramatically cut down the time it takes to clean your pool. And I have got the latest in robot pool cleaners, and we're going to test them out. How you going, mate? Good to see you.
See you too.
This is a beautiful pool design. So you're just finishing off. You've got a bit to go still.
Yep, some of the landscaping, a little bit of fencing, the certification, but we're almost there.
Well, robots obviously are a thing, and they have taken over the world for pool ownership, haven't they? They've made it so much easier for the day-to-day clean. Those of you who haven't really gotten down to grips with what robot pool cleaners do, let's start from the beginning. How do they work? Because they're different to your old, what do they call the creepy crawly things?
Yeah,
you
the
know?
suction cleaners is the term. So yeah, traditionally those suction cleaners plug into your skimmer box and they slow your whole filtration system down. So with robots, you get rid of that suction cleaner, they work completely independent of the filtration system, and they also will collect debris from the pool floor, saving time cleaning out your filtration system.
And it all goes into there.
Yep.
So all the leaves, all the debris are captured into there. You just take that away with you and then chuck it in the bin.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And it does filter down fairly fine. So
yeah.
It's not just the leaves, but the debris as well.
It's two models from Maytronics. So what have we got? We've got the 700 and the 600. 400.
400, yep.
Yes.
There's difference in price point and functionality. I suppose the M700 is top of the line. Can't get a better cleaner than the M700. It will clean your floor, walls, getting in and out of tight corners.
Yeah.
It'll even float itself to the surface so you can easily bring it out of the pool for yourself.
Do they work? Do they live up to all of the hype robot pool cleaners put out there? Because I mean, you hear stories about, well, it's just a bit of marketing, it's a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah. Again, horses for courses. There are some robots that aren't as good as others, but certainly the better robots like the M700 and the Maytronics brand will definitely get into all your nooks and crannies. They've got scrubbing brushes, so it'll scrub all the dirt and algae off the floor and walls. So they do work, definitely.
They do work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always something you have to do manually as a pool owner. You can't get away without having to do some maintenance. You have to sweep your steps with your brush, don't you? There are some things you've got to do, but this really does take hours out of your day-to-day cleaning.
Yeah, that's right. So you can set different timers. So say if you're having a party tonight and you want a quick clean, you can set a quick clean on this Dolphin 700. or you can set it for a long, slow clean and give the pool a really good scrub.
And they'll even tell you the temperature of the water, whether it's nice enough to swim,
They will,
isn't it?
that's it, so you don't jump in there and get a shock.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
How do they go on the surface line? Because that's often one of the most disgusting parts of your pool, or sunscreen that floats on top.
That's
Especially
right.
you've got a white pool, because white pools are in at the moment.
That's right.
The scum stain,
Yep.
can they get that?
They can get the scum line, so up around those waterline, either tile or pebblecrete or whatever surface you've got, these robots will come up and they do scrub that surface, but they'll also have a side action, so scrub it as it goes horizontally along, not just up and straight back down again.
I'm all for the robot revolution. I think bring it on these days. All we need now is something to bring us a beer, like a floating beer
That's
holder in
right.
the pool, and we're sorted, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Thanks for your insights today, mate. Really appreciate it.
problem.
It is fantastic.
Great,
Thanks very
thank
much.
you.
They are so cool. I love them. Get on board with the Dolphin range from Maytronics. They are genius, and it will change the game when it comes to cleaning your pool. You'll find out the entire range all on their website. It is maytronics.com.au. There aren't many businesses that you can credit with being around to build pools and spas for 50 years. I mean, that's half a century. And with so many horror stories about dodgy companies disappearing with money or leaving you with half-finished pools in your backyard, to come across a company that delivers on their promise for half a century, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. When you're searching for a builder to create your dream build, you need to look out for that longevity. You've got to read the reviews online, you've got to check if they've won a couple of awards in the industry, and make sure you've done your research. Or if you're in Melbourne like we are today, you could just hit up one of the best, it's our mates at PJ Pools and Spas. Great to meet you, mate.
Hey mate, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good to meet you.
This is beautiful, isn't it?
It is.
Up here in the hills. So PJ Pools, I mean, you guys have been around for 50 years, seeing you everywhere, and you are literally the kings of pools and spas in Victoria. What's your secret, do you think? What's the secret to success?
Look, we like to treat every swimming pool that we built as one of our own. So we like to imagine it as our own backyard. So from the moment we meet with the client originally for the original chat to the end when we're filling it up with water, we like to treat the whole experience as if it's one of our own.
Now, you're a family-run business,
Yes.
and this is kind of like been passed down through generations.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
So my granddad started it in 1973, so 50 years ago now. My dad took over from him. He started building them more Victoria-wide. And then, yeah, I'm next in line.
You're next, the
generation.
hair of
Yeah.
the pool industry.
Yes.
I think there's a nice synergy that runs through with being a family-owned business and you building pools for families. I mean, is there a bit of a trick to creating someone's dream? Because it's a large investment, isn't it?
Yeah, so we like to think about when we build these pools to like talk to the client and understand what they want. So understand, because we know we're bringing together a lifestyle as a swimming pool, like they're going to look out to their pool every day. And we want them to bring their dream to life, to reality. So we work with the client to give them the best product we can.
What are some of the factors that you need to take into consideration when you're building a pool? I presume budget is one of them, but are there like land positioning factors? Are there compliance factors? And is there a bit of dampening down some people's grand ideas sometimes?
I wouldn't say dampening down their ideas, but there is a lot of factors you have to take into consideration and communicate that with the client from the start. So obviously there is the soil. We have to do a soil test and see what sort of soil it is. And then if it's rocky, we have to put provisions in, and so vice versa if it's sand. There can be stuff as well, like here, we brought together, like we saw that there was a nice view, so we made that, we took that into consideration.
What's one of your favourite parts of being a pool builder?
I'd have to say one of the most rewarding parts is once the pool's finished, we're handing it over, it's full of water, it's all compliant, and you see the kids and the family jump in the pool for the first time, and just the joy on their face to know that for like the next 15 to 20 years, they're going to be enjoying that pool that we built.
You guys have won quite a few awards
Yes.
over the years, I hear, and that's really ranging from very small pools to large pools. I mean, name drop a couple there.
Yeah, so we've won a bunch of awards over the years between different ranges of pools. So some for like the smaller spa courtyard pools up to like the big 20-metre pools. But we've won a lot recently in the renovation category. So
Okay.
where we come into pools that look tired, old, and we bring them back to life for the client and make them look new and bring new life to the pool and the outdoor area.
So the age-old question, of course, is, and I know you guys do both, but concrete or fiberglass?
I get asked this by probably every client and what the difference is. It depends on your property and what you're wanting at the end of the day. Everyone has this assumption that fiberglass is cheaper. That's not always the case. It really depends on your soil type, accessibility to the property, and all these have to be taken into consideration when deciding.
It's always fascinating to speak to pool builders and get a bit of a behind the scenes insight into how it all works and what goes on, because it's a big complicated area. But mate, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. It's been very interesting to find out a bit about PJ Pools. Thanks very much. You can definitely feel the passion with these guys when it comes to all things swimming pools. And I think being a family business, that care and attention to detail really shines through. It's actually really nice to see. Now, if you are in Melbourne or Victoria and you're thinking about costing up a pool for your place, 100% hit these guys up for a quote. We just found them all online at pjpools.com.au. Well, that is just about it for today's show. What an amazing episode with some cool ideas for your pool and spa. And speaking of ideas, if you've missed any of them from today's episode, of course, from the entire series as well, we're going to put all those links on our website. You'll find them all at poolspalife.com.au. And of course, we would love to see you connect with us and follow our little community on Facebook and Instagram. Some great behind the scenes stuff there and some amazing pool and spa inspiration. Well, that is it. Until next time, take care of yourselves and swim safe. Bye-bye.